Chapter 2. The Man Who Knocked. Twice. The stranger waiting in the parlor was not what I expected. He sat stiffly, hat in hand, his overcoat immaculate, eyes darting between the ticking wall clock and the fireplace. He stood as we entered, his composure practiced, but his nerves betrayed him. "Mr. Finch?" Dawn asked, his voice flat. The man nodded. "Tobias Finch. I knew the gentleman in room 7. Name? He went by... Well, I knew him as Elliot Marsh." Dawn said nothing, only circled the man slowly, as if he were a painting to be studied. "You said you knew him," I said gently. "In what capacity?" "We worked together. Imports and transport, mostly paper goods." He licked his lips. "I read the news, and I came to see if it was true." "You read the news?" Dawn cut in. "Strange. The body hasn't been reported. You'd have to be clairvoyant, or tipped off." Finch faltered. Miss Connolly called someone. I assumed. You assumed wrong?" Dawn stared at him for a long moment. The only sound was the crackle of firewood and the faint tapping of Finch's fingers on the brim of his hat. "How long had you known Mr. Marsh?" I asked. 5 years. But we lost touch. He started dealing in strange things. Maps, symbols, always talking about keys hidden in silence." Dawn perked up. "Silence?" Finch nodded slowly. "Said he was close to discovering something. Obsessed with codes. He'd stare at old railway schedules and mutter about echoes." Dawn glanced at me. The note. 7 echoes ring before the silence comes. "What does this mean to you, Mr. Finch?" "I think someone was following him. He said once, cryptically, they knock twice. Once to warn. Once to kill." Silence settled like dust. Then Dawn turned on his heel. "Dr. Gray, you'll accompany me to Marsh's rented office on Fleet Street." "We don't even know if He did," Dawn interrupted. "Finch didn't mean to say it, but he just told us." You said he dealt in paper goods, didn't you?" Dawn shot him a cold look. "The only business registered to an Elliot Marsh in London, related to freight records and shipping manifests. Fleet Street, Unit 14C. He kept a paper trail." Finch's face turned ashen. "I didn't mean..." "No," Dawn said, reaching for his coat. "But you did." The wind had picked up by the time we arrived at Fleet Street. The building was closed, of course, but Dawn produced a key from his coat. "Don't ask," he said simply. The office was cramped. Papers everywhere. Charts, ledgers, and most unusually, pages torn from church hymnals with numbers scrawled in the margins. "What do you make of this?" I asked, holding up a crumpled piece of sheet music. "I think," Dawn murmured, "that Marsh was tracing sound patterns. 7 echoes, perhaps not metaphorical, perhaps literal." He paused, picked up a tuning fork resting on the desk. "We're looking for someone who doesn't just kill, he broadcasts." I felt a cold weight in my chest. Suddenly a knock came. Once. Pause. Twice. Dawn and I froze. "Don't open it," he whispered. "Not yet." But the door creaked open. No one was there, only a slip of paper on the floor. Dawn picked it up, eyes narrowing. "1 ring gone, 6 remain.